So as with anything, onions and garlic have to be sauteed first. So I'm going in with a little avocado oil. You can use olive, grapeseed, whatever it is your heart desires. I personally like olive. I mean, avocado. And then I'm going in with my garlic because, of course, so it's going to be 5 cloves of garlic. Personally, I like a lot of garlic. So if you would like a little less, you can do that. That's perfectly fine. But I'm going to go ahead and get these sauteed first. And then I'm going in with my onions. Now you can dice them small. I like big onions, so I'm going to add in big onions. And we're going to cook those until they are translucent. So I will come back in a couple minutes once that is done, and then we're going to go ahead and cook our ground beef, get it seasoned, and then get it into the crock pot where the rest of the work is done. Okay, so now that those have cooked for a little while, I am actually getting ready to go in with my ground beef. We are going to get that cooked up and seasoned here shortly. Now, I personally like cooking in my Presto pot because I realize that the 5 of us, and I have 3 boys, my little skillet that I normally cook with, it was not big enough to hold the amount of food I need to make. So my parents got me one of these so that I could cook, larger quantities of food. And it really has come in handy. So I'll be using my Presto skillet a lot. I'm going to let this cook for a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my seasonings prepped and ready because I know some people don't season the meat because a lot of the seasonings go into the crock pot. I season both because why would I not? I'm not putting unseasoned meat in anybody's crock pot ever. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook and get these seasonings ready and then get this meat seasoned. Okay, so now we are not all the way brown, but we're on our way. I'm going to go ahead. I've already blended my spices together. I will drop all of them in the description, so don't worry about the amounts. I got y'all. And I'm gonna go in and get the meat seasoned. Start with that, and then I'll get it mixed well. I love the smell of cumin. I love it. Yeah. We're gonna get that all combined, allow it to finish cooking. Before we get it transferred over, I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the spices now. And I just think for whatever reason in my brain, I have convinced myself that combining, adding the majority of the seasonings to the meat helps the flavor of the soup, even though it is the same spices going into the soup. It's something about when it gets in there and it's working in with that meat, even before, pouring the broth into the crock pot. It's getting well combined, well throughout the meat. I feel like that makes for a more flavorful soup, which is why I choose to do it this way. And that is looking good already. I could just put this in a taco if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. So I'm gonna let this cook for maybe a couple more minutes before I transfer it over into my crock pot. And then we will go ahead and start putting the soup together. It's really easy. You really only need your skillet for this part. The rest of the work, or the rest of the way, it's minimal work at that point. So see you guys in a second. Okay, so I have now transferred our ground beef over to our crock pot, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned, so you can use either ground beef, you can also use ground turkey. Me personally, I'm a ground beef girl. This is 100% grass-fed ground beef, which this is my first time trying this brand. But yeah, you can use, it's interchangeable between ground beef and ground turkey. And then I also want to note when it comes to the spices and the seasonings, use season and spice per taste. I know some people have different, you know, salt thresholds. Some people just taste your food as you go and to make sure it's to your particular liking. I, however, have tweaked things to where I like it. I like things full of flavor, full of spice, full of seasoning. So therefore, that is what I've provided you all. But definitely season and taste as you go, because you might like something different than I do. So to start, now that we have our meat, onion, and garlic in our crock pot, um, I am going in with my diced tomatoes, which I went with fire roasted. You can do whatever diced tomatoes you like. If you just want it plain, that's fine too. I also have a little bit of diced jalapeno, which is completely optional, totally up to you. I also have some chilies that I'm gonna add. Do a little bit more. And also you're gonna need tomato sauce. So I'm going to use a whole can. And then I am making a big crock pot full because again, we are a family of 5 and I like to make enough for 2 days. So I use 3 pounds of ground beef. If you know you're a smaller family or you're just making it for yourself, you don't have to make as much. But freezing is also an option. So even if you have more left, you can always opt to freeze. Okay, and then I am gonna go in with a can of black beans. Now I know some people also add red kidney beans. I personally, I'm not really in a mood for red kidney beans. I don't really want it to taste too much like a chili. So I'm just going in with black beans. And I'm also going to add a little bit of salsa. And then also I want to add a little bit of taco sauce as well, which I'm not really going to measure the amount of taco sauce that I'm putting in here. I just want a little bit, nothing too crazy. You can add whatever taco sauce you like. I haven't gotten away from Ortega yet, so that is where I am as of right this second. And I'm also going to add a little bit of fresh oregano, and then I'm going with a little bit of cilantro, and I'm going to add more in later after it's done cooking. And then I'm going to add some more cumin before I go in with my beef broth. Now, it doesn't have to be beef broth, but to me, it just kind of made sense. If I'm using ground beef, I might as well use beef broth. You can use veggie, you can use chicken, you can use whatever your little heart desires, but I'm getting ready to use some beef broth. I don't know if I want to use the whole thing just yet. Let me stir and see what we're looking like. Yeah, we're gonna need the whole thing. I do want it thick, but I don't want it that thick. So let's go ahead and add in the rest of our broth. And I know I am gonna have to add more seasonings to it, but I'm gonna let it cook for a little while and then see, you know, just how much I want to add. But again, all of the spices will be added in the description, so don't you worry. I got y'all. And then towards the end, I'm going to go in and add more cilantro. And then I like to top with cheese, sometimes avocado, fresh jalapeno, and then sour cream. But lately, I've been getting into Greek yogurt, 0% Greek yogurt as a replacement for sour cream. You literally cannot tell the difference. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this and put it on high um, for maybe about an hour, and then I'll check back and see where we are and what I need to add to it. But as you can see, that is what we're looking like so far. I'm excited. We haven't had it in a while, so there it is. Okay, so we are back. It's been, I let it cook longer than I had initially said. It's been maybe like maybe 2.5 hours. It's been cooking on high. I tried it. The flavor is perfect. I actually don't need to add any more spices. However, what I am going to do at this point is go in with my cilantro. So we're going to go in with some more fresh cilantro. And then listen, this next part is absolutely optional. Don't judge me, okay? Don't judge me. Fun fact. So 0%, 0% Greek yogurt is a perfect replacement for sour cream. So, me personally, I'm gonna add a little bit. You can also use sour cream or neither. That is totally and completely up to you. You do not have to, but I'm going to. And then, and just a spoonful is just fine. And then I'm gonna go in with a little bit of shredded Mexican. I used Organic Valley's. Here, you can't really see it. Organic Valley's 3 cheese Mexican cheese, and I'm gonna go in with that, and then I'm gonna stir it. Probably let it sit for a couple more minutes. Let it thicken just a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get plated. But it's super simple once you have your ground beef done. I personally like to serve mine with chips. We like to dip with ours, which I'll show you here shortly. And also, I normally would put a little bit of sour cream on top of mine, but since I'm opting for Greek yogurt, I will top mine with sour cream, maybe some fresh jalapeno, cilantro, a little bit of avocado. We shall see. But yeah, here we are. I'm gonna let it thicken just a little bit and then I will be back. And there we have it. We got our toppings. I used the cheddar Packies. It's a really good brand. Non-GMO, no crazy stuff in it. And we got some organic tortilla chips. Topped it off with some avocado, jalapeno, cheese, cilantro, a little ancho chili powder, and tomatoes. And voila.